Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. It's time to turn it up and let the music flow. Step behind the curtain, take a front row seat. Talking rock and roll, got the stories on repeat. From classic hits to brand new sound, we're digging deep where legends are found. The show, let's go. Dr. Rock's backstage pass. Yes, yeah. We're talking concerts, riffs, and tracks. From past to present, the music lasts. Turn it up, let's have a blast. Let's play. From vinyl spins to streaming waves, chart toppers, deep cuts, the songs that stay. If you've got a band, let's hear your sound. Songs that stay. If you've got a band, let's hear your sound. We'll crank it up and break it down. Let's rock, let's rock. It's time for the show, let's go. Dr. Rock's backstage pass. We're talking concerts, riffs, and tracks. From past to present, the music lasts. Turn it up, let's have a blast. Let's party. What's your favorite? What's the best show? What's the top track? Let's roll it back. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Dr. Rock's backstage pass. Let's ride. Music memories come alive. New tunes, old grooves, rockin' blast. Welcome in your VIP class. And now it's showtime.
No, I'm gonna turn the fucking microphones on.
Well, that would probably be a good idea. So now you got to say that all over again.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm an idiot. I was gonna record the opening part first and then pause it, so I have to turn the microphones off because it would hear any snort that I make, whatever. But I forgot to turn the microphones back on. I'm glad I did, because I did the same thing with Jeff Borg. I had the microphones on mute so we couldn't hear each other, or my recording was. Anyway, so yesterday we were together for lunch and I got 5 text messages within 8 minutes from people.
Yeah, I didn't get 5. I got 3, but immediately.
That the great Ozzy Osbourne had passed away, and You said you were able to experience the Ozman live back in the 90s. I want to hear about that.
All right. Well, that was more into our conversation, but my experience with Ozzy was when I worked at an arena in my hometown doing shows. I was in charge of the barricade up front.
Sure.
But I had the luxury of being able to be at the end of the pit.
Yeah. And
I got to see out of the corner of my eye, or my head twisted a little bit, most of these shows between, and I'll get into this a little later, but it's the late 80s into the early 90s.
Okay.
And so Ozzy was at a concert there, and before the show, you meet them when they're doing sound checks and stuff like that, or wandering around with their water, and in the back behind the stage. And so it was a great experience, but I did get to meet him. But like I said, one thing about Ozzy, if you guys have ever been to one of his shows, he loved throwing water on people. They would always have 5-gallon buckets up on the stage, and they were full of water, and roadies would fill them up, but he just loved to throw them out, whether we were outside or inside an arena. Yeah, he did that.
I've seen that a lot in his videos, his live concert videos, where he's always got a water bottle in his hand. He's always throwing it at the crowd. But he's always wet.
Yeah.
I suppose from throwing the water, but and the sweating, I suppose he wants everybody to be wet and sweaty.
Well, he's such an active guy up on stage with this.
His clap.
His clap.
Kind of like that one guy from that movie where. So you were security for a lot of concerts down in your hometown.
Yeah.
Like who? I mean, some of the
boy, if we do have some musical knowledgeable people that will listen to this, it was the late 80s and early 90s when a lot of the heavy metal bands would travel in packs or groups.
Sure.
There was never just one band that would come up, a warm-up band, and then your headliner.
Yep.
Back in that era, it was like multiple bands would travel together.
Sure.
Like, this is off the wall, but Trickster, Ugly Kid Joe.
You're one in a million.
Yeah, Jackal.
Oh, see, Jackal.
And then it went into, this is one concert.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Did I say Trickster?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were there.
Trickster, Jackal.
And Cinderella was the headliner that night, but there were 6 bands that night.
Oh, it's amazing. See,
but other bands would do that too. Cinderella, like I said, but there were so many. From Lynyrd Skynyrd to Judas Priest, Def Leppard, Damn Yankees when they started.
Oh man, the Yankees!
I saw one of the first shows of Disturbed from Chicago. We were one of their first.
Nice shirt, by
the way. They were one of their very first arenas outside of Illinois where they started from.
Yeah,
and I can go on. It'll come to my head, but I saw them all. I saw so many groups then, but again, it was
it was the 80s, man.
It was the 80s.
80s,
but 90s. That does date me in age a little bit because those bands I'm mentioning, that wasn't when they were wild and crazy. It was after like half of them bands were sobered up at that time.
Yeah.
So the music was great.
Yeah.
They did well.
We just saw Tesla.
Yeah.
We just saw Tesla.
Yeah.
The other night, Mary and I, and Jeff Keith, he's sober now. He's been sober a while, but his voice is still spot on.
Right.
And we saw, you and I, we went and saw Great White at the casino.
Yeah.
And Mitch Malloy, or whatever his name is, that was singing for him. He's been around since the 80s. He had his own bands.
Right.
His voice was phenomenal that night. That concert was great. Queensryche, when we saw them down in Iowa. I know it's not Jeff Tate, but damn, did they put on a great concert. Yeah. And of course, so I was just talking with Sam, my son, today at lunch, because he was also at the Disturbed concert. He said 3 Days Grace blew both the other bands off the stage.
Okay.
And I said, I actually have to agree with you.
Yeah.
I think David Draymond dreaded having to do all 12 songs from the Sickness.
That Sickness album, yeah.
Because it's boring.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple of really not great songs on there. But to have both singers that were in a band come back together as a band and, okay, you sing your songs, I'll sing my songs, but then we'll come out and do these songs together.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Right.
Seven Dust, I know you've seen Seven Dust before. I've seen Seven Dust.
Way back in that era I was talking about too.
But all of their songs are so monotone,
Right.
and their beat doesn't change from the first note to the.
And it was loud at that concert too. I mean,
It was loud.
They compensate for their voices not sounding as they did. They turn up the volume. We had that bad experience with Slaughter.
Oh.
Also, I was time.
I was hoping you
didn't mean to bring that up, but it's the same thing.
I like Mark Slaughter back in the 80s. I think Stick It To You was a great album. But I have never walked out of a concert in my life until that night. I
was there, so I agree.
My ears hurt.
Yeah.
And I'm deaf.
Yeah.
And I was really, because it was supposed to be
Slaughter Queens, right?
No, Slaughter filled in for somebody else. Somebody else was supposed to be there that night. Because I was really, it was like Skid Row or something. Anyway. So Slaughter was a fill-in. I'm like, well, you know what? I like Slaughter. I saw Slaughter back in the 80s they opened for somebody. Yeah. I mean, they were good, but yeah, that was not good.
Right.
But yeah, Disturbed concert, I mean, it was the seats were phenomenal.
Yeah.
Your wife does know how to get seats. That is for sure. And the show, the experience. See, now you're like I am when, like, I'll take a picture, maybe a quick video of one of my favorite songs of theirs, but then I put my damn phone away.
Yeah.
And I watch all of that. I watch the stage. I watch the lights. I watch the backstage guys moving around. Yeah. I'm looking at the rafters. I'm watching the crowd.
Yeah.
Because if you pay that much money, I want to experience everything with my eyes, not through
the phone,
through my
taking
phone.
videos. Yeah.
I appreciate people that. I mean, that's just the generation of people that they don't know how to watch things for real.
Right.
But to be able to, I watched, there was guys walking around in the catwalks up there. I'm just like, God, what a job.
Yeah.
Just, you're at a concert, you're doing some light thing from up in the ceiling.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I enjoyed that time that I was working in that arena. Back then, we called it it was the Five Seasons Center in the town I grew up in eastern Iowa, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And I had the luxury of seeing all that stuff before the crowd came in.
Yeah.
So, I look at that stuff now as a fan going to concerts, but when I go to concerts, I just look at the musicians and go, or wonder, do you still have it before they start singing?
Yeah.
Because I'm stuck in the 80s. I'm actually a late 70s and an 80s music guy, and I grew up with that sound. And we all, when we go to concerts, want to hear that sound.
Want to hear it the way it was.
Yeah.
Don't change anything.
Right.
Don't add new lyrics. And actually, the worst person for that is Vince Neil from Motley Crue. He makes the crowd sing half of it. I think it's because he doesn't remember the words.
Well, their last tour, I was at that one in the cities too, but that was delayed because of, I believe, COVID.
Yeah.
And that.
The Def Leppard,
2 years. Def Leppard, Motley Crue,
Poison,
and it was Joan Jett or Pat. Joan Jett. Yes. Yeah.
And how was that? Def Leppard.
They were all good, but when Motley Crue came,
the music was good.
Yeah, it was great to see them. I mean,
I know
it was history. I grew up with them. It was neat to go, but it didn't sound the best. But the other three did. We saw Poison and Motley Crue together with the New York Dolls many moons ago now. Mm-hmm. And Poison, 100% by far sounded just like they did back when I saw them open for David Lee Roth. Yes.
Just the vocals were on point. The guitar was perfect.
Yes.
CeCe was awesome.
Yeah.
Bobby Dahl was killing it.
Right.
Yeah. And so it is disappointing when you go to a concert and you're thinking this whole time, okay, this is one of my favorite acts, and you get there and you just kind of like, that was kind of boring.
Yeah.
That actually was Five Finger Death Punch for me when I saw him in Fargo. He had a cold, so instead of singing all their fast songs, it was most of their ballads because it was easier on his voice.
Sure.
And I'm like, all right, I didn't come to get serenaded to.
Yeah.
And he even said, hey, I didn't even have to do this.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
why you got to be a dick, Ivan? You know, look, this arena's full because of you guys. Well, actually, it was because of who was it? Shinedown.
Oh,
Shinedown.
Okay.
Grand Forks, Grand Forks. Shinedown, to me, I think puts on the best live show.
Yeah. And I've never experienced a live show of Shinedown. I've never seen them in concert.
It's next time they're through Minnesota, we have to, or North Dakota, we have to go, because especially now they have a new album out, and so far 2 of the 3 that I've heard off of it I really like. The third one we both kind of went, it's not what I'm going to fall in love with. Okay. I appreciate the lyrics of it. It's about how a drug addict has that with the pills. I feel better with you, but I feel bad with you kind of feeling, like I have to take these to feel better, but they make me not feel good, kind of the drug addiction thing where, you know, you're just continuously taking pills because you don't know how to deal with that pain, not the physical, but the mental pain. So it's a great song. It's just not one of my favorites that they've done. So anyway, Ozzy Osbourne passed away at the ripe old age of 76. Mary last night was watching that final concert that he did, and it's pretty heart-wrenching to notice. Well, the reason I think he knew he was dying, I mean, you don't finish the song with "Mama, I'm Coming Home."
Yeah.
Your last. Well, no, actually, to me,
wasn't his last song. Crazy Train was.
Was Crazy Train his last song?
Okay. The encore. The encore.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, all his life he's been Ozzy Osbourne.
Right.
So this is his final ever concert he's ever going to do. "Mama, I'm Coming Home" means, Sharon, I'm going to finally not be in the studio. I'm not going to be on tour. And then he dies like 2 weeks later. It's like shit. But we were talking about that in the Zen Den about the Osbourne show.
Yeah.
Oh, especially when him and Jack did their own little travel
the world. That was neat to see.
I mean, you could tell he was not only a musician and probably the craziest man on earth that isn't in an institution, but he was a family man.
Oh, absolutely.
He loved his kids loved him. He had a relationship with his kids. Yeah. Not great at all times, but all families are like that.
Exactly.
It showed that Ozzy Osbourne was really a human being, besides
absolutely
the sorcerer of destruction. I was going to try to quote what's his name from Clerks 2, but I couldn't get it.
He had such a horrible upbringing.
Oh, he was terrible. I've watched a couple of documentaries on him.
Yeah.
He, I wish I would have seen him live. I never did. My mom and my stepdad went and saw him in 78, I believe it was, because they left me to babysit. I was 8 to babysit my brand new baby sister, and so they could go to a concert in 78. Now, obviously, times have changed. Yeah. You don't leave an 8-year-old home with an infant, but
you were only 7 in 78.
Oh, I was 7. Okay, so I was 7.
Do the math, right?
Yeah,
do the math. Come on.
So, yeah, because I remember that her saying Ozzy Osbourne, and I was just like, I don't know. Why is my mom going to something that we listen to?
Right.
You know, my dad listened to Ozzy, so I'm like, that's not my mom's music. She was listening to Barbra Streisand.
Right.
So it must have been my stepdad that wanted to go to it.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite concert memory, or favorite concert, I guess, if you want to call it, or what is the best concert you've ever seen live?
Well, I have got 2. Well, to answer 2-part, I guess. My most memorable was Kiss when I was working down there.
Okay.
I actually was able to be up their room before the concert started, and I walked down with them, and they gave me a Kiss robe, and the tour emblem was on there. I don't know where that thing is now.
Could be worth millions.
And then when I was on stage, and then when Gene did his theatrical blood bass deal, and the blood and boom, boom, he put his demon boot right on my shoulder because I was on that part of the stage.
Sure.
It was actually here.
Okay.
And it was, I've been thinking, why? I didn't think, why are you doing that, man? To me, it was
cool as shit. Come on.
Because that demon boot with the red eyes and the teeth
and the
were
teeth
right here.
Right over the...
And I'm looking, look at me. I'm famous.
Wait, you had to stand there like this, though, right?
Oh, yeah, you faked it.
Yeah, that's whatever. Yeah. It's just Gene Simmons' foot on my shoulder.
Yeah. So, but the best concert in this,
for me, somebody just pooped in my pants. I don't know if it was baby me or adult me. The Avengers there.
The best concert, and I'm saying this because of the sound.
Yeah.
The theatrics, how good all the musicians in the. No, you won't. It was Queensryche.
The one down in.
It was down there, and they just came out with Empire, but the tour was Operation Mindcrime.
Okay.
So they did the whole Operation Mindcrime, and they had those big screens in the back telling the story.
Okay.
And it went with the album, right?
Yeah.
And then they mixed in at the end then their new Empire stuff, which became good. Empire, Jet City Woman,
Silent Lucidity.
Yeah, right. So
great album.
That was my most memorable. And I saw a ton. I mean, as we were talking earlier, you were naming bands. Yes, I saw them all.
Yeah.
Ice House, Firehouse.
I've seen them several times.
The Christian rock bands.
Striper,
yes.
She would have loved us seeing Striper.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, from Leonard Skinner to even the old.
Well, I mean,
just all.
We got some Kiss on here. Did you ever get to see Europe?
No, I never saw Europe. Meatloaf, I did. Yes, yes.
Obviously, ELO would have.
Yes,
you didn't get to see ELO.
I never. Oh, I wanted to. They were down in like Shakopee.
Okay.
I don't know, 5, 6, maybe 10 years ago. I wanted to go down there and never made it down there, or they canceled the show. There was something about it.
Bon Jovi.
Oh, yes, saw Bon Jovi.
Green White.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, all these guys, Beastie Boys, Loverboy.
Van Halen.
Yeah, I saw them all. I mean, it's just...
Yeah, no, see, and that's the great thing about...
Yeah.
Like, I did sound and lights for bands at Northern Lights Casino for, I don't know, we must have done that for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
There was a company that hired me to get a bunch of hands to come in, unload the semis, set the shit up, watch the show, tear it down. So I got to experience a lot of backstage stuff with a lot of these bands.
Sure.
And a lot of them were just so nice, down to earth. I mean, granted, they're on the casino tour, so it's not like they're, headliners, at Madison Square Garden anymore. So they're a little more humble because they're like, hey, this is where we are now. Mm-hmm. These people are still paying money to come see us. And Warrant probably put on one of the greatest live shows for 700 people.
Yeah.
That was it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
To get to see Aaron Lewis do an acoustic thing, which was to the point, to this day, probably my favorite concert experience.
Okay. All right.
Because he went solo with no microphone, and I was standing at the back soundboard, and he sang outside without a microphone, and I could hear him all the way at the back of the
Really?
You know how big the arena is in Northern Lights.
Yes.
It was like he was sitting this close to me singing. To have that much power in your voice, and he didn't strain at all. Mm-hmm. To me, the hair stood up on my arms. I'm just like, oh my God, this guy is just unbelievable.
I mean, you're going to ask me probably my top 3 albums in a little bit. But when you said the best concert experience, I mean, for me, that sound and that night. But then I'm thinking, as you're just now, I forgot about Carver Hawkeye Arena where Caitlin Clark played her college ball.
Sure.
They put on great concerts there because that's a sunken-in arena, and they put speakers all the way around the ground level, all the way around the room. And so, Mary, you would have liked this. I saw Billy Joel, Stevie Wonder in that arena, and that sound was incredible.
Billy Joel and Stevie Wonder together?
No.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, that is a really, really wide bill.
And it was about my 3rd Metallica concert was in there, too.
Okay.
But they would stack those speakers all the way around the top.
Yep.
Because it's a bowl, and you get to the seats by going down. Ground level is up there, and so they line all the concerts, they lined speakers all the way around in between those stepways.
Yep.
And the sound was incredible. Not only the stuff above the stage, but those are great experiences. You know, and the sound was incredible. I mean, stuff just keeps popping up.
I wouldn't have paid money to see either one of them.
You wouldn't have?
No.
Oh,
I
did.
Billy Joel fan or a Stevie Wonder fan.
Bruce Hornsby in the Range.
Yeah,
I
I would
like
have paid to see it.
That was good.
Yeah, he's very underrated, Bruce Hornsby. Very underrated. Hall of Fame worthy, actually, material, I honestly have to say. Yeah, Bruce Hornsby, that was the name.
Toad in the Wet Sprockets.
Toad in the Wet Sprockets. Oh, I want.
Yeah. I mean, we can go on and on and on.
Yeah, see.
Edie Brickell. I mean,
what I am is what
Edie
I
Brickell,
am.
New Bohemians. Yeah,
Paul Simon's wife.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Actually, funny story is about 10 years ago, he had to call a domestic on her for beating the shit out of him.
No kidding.
Yeah.
He had an OFP against her for spousal abuse.
Oh,
yeah,
my
she whooped his ass.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry, Paul, but I mean, she's like 3 inches taller than Paul.
Yeah.
Paul Simon's not a tall guy, and he's old. I mean, she's my age, so she's got to be 20 years younger, but they've been together since right after that album, that Shooting Rubber Bands.
Yeah.
They got together right after that album, and they're still together to this day,
wow.
even though I'm assuming she lifted the OFP.
Yeah.
She's 59.
Okay,
All
so
right.
she's a few years older than me.
Sure.
But
Paul Simon is 83.
Oh, my goodness.
I almost could have called that elder abuse.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the other thing that we were talking about, stereos.
Yeah.
Because I was explaining, I have my Zen Den is stacked to the ceiling with speakers. There's 8 speakers total in there.
Yeah.
And I was counting up the money because I buy all my stuff at the thrift store. I haven't bought a brand new piece of stereo equipment in forever.
Right.
And I think total out of everything I have in there, I spent less than $200.
Yeah.
And the quality of sound, because it's all the older stuff.
Yeah.
Especially that 8-track player. That 8-track player, to me, if I can find some old classic rock 8-tracks, I'm going to be a happy man. But and I have all the sound panels in there, so everything is just, it's almost, hate to say almost the perfect sound, but it's pretty damn close.
Right.
But I grew up, my dad was the kind of guy who literally bought the brand new piece of equipment every time it came out. And so his stereo would literally rattle the dishes in the kitchen. Now, you told me a story about your first stereo your dad bought, and I want to hear more about this.
Well, it wasn't really, the first stereo that my dad bought. Well, I'll back up. We started with, down in the basement of this house, in the house I lived in, it wasn't a finished basement, but we called it a basement. My dad had his workshop down there, and we had a big, I don't know what you call those, but people had them in the late 60s, 70s, a big, wide console.
Yeah.
There was a TV in the middle, 2 big speakers. You'd open one hatch is your tuner, 8-track, and the other is the record player.
Yeah. Everybody.
And that was downstairs. Yeah. And I grew up listening to, because that's all he had was the country music. And I told you, Johnny Cash, Charlie Pride, Waylon Jennings, and I didn't realize that till I got older. Those were like kind of the bad boys back then.
It was the outlaw country is what I liked.
And I also learned as I grew up, into junior high, high school, my dad was in Vietnam. And so that was the type of the music they would listen to. But it also transitioned into, he had several greatest hits of 1966, 68, 65, 66, 68, 69. I grew up listening to a lot of that music, the Trogs.
Oh, sure, yeah.
All that. And I'm sorry, but I can't remember the title of these songs, but they play them on the radio a lot, or in Vietnam movies, all those songs.
Yeah, no, I know what
and that was the stuff they listened to over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's what, got me into music, but because I thought he was only country.
Yeah.
And then he started playing it when we got that new system. That arena where I worked at, back in my city, when there wasn't a concert or a semi-pro basketball game or something going on in there, they would have where they would allow the city allowed businesses to go in there and have like a weekend sale on like furniture. The next weekend would be cars. The next weekend would be maybe swimming pools or spas. Well, we went
hot tub sale, the old hot tub sale.
Yeah, so we went, and then they had an electronics sale,
Okay.
TVs and stereos and stuff like that. And this is the 80s. This is when MTV started coming out. And, you know, our parents were barraged with watching videos because we only had one TV, and my sister had to have MTV on.
Yeah.
And so that was cool too, where my parents in the 80s knew the Skid Rows and the Def Leppards and Van Halen and they recognized that music, and then that's what would be in the car playing. But anyway, we bought a stereo at one of those things, and that's the old stereo cabinet with your record player at the top, the tuner, the equalizer, the cassette deck, CD player, you know, and that sound we thought was the coolest thing. But going back to your Zen Den, you know, I'm sitting there appreciating, like, I can remember when that CD player was like $800 to $1,000, and that receiver, you know, if you got an Onkyo or a Technics or a Kenwood, or
you were going to pay $800-900 to $1,000.
A whole multi-component system was outrageous, $2,000-3,000. Not to mention, then you'd start, what kind of speakers are you going to get?
It's all about
back then. It was the speakers, and early it was the biggest you had were the better ones, and then you had all these different choices.
The size of this table, and everything started to shrink because Bose figured out how to do that coil inside, and can make the speaker smaller and sound better. I have a pair of Bose in there. I use them for the highs because they're so clear. But to be honest with you, those Fishers I have, I think those middle ones or the KLHs, I think are the two that sound. I think it's because they're right at ear and eye level that they sound the perfect. But so when you got this stereo, so my favorite story is you, and most of you, if you watch this, you'll know who I'm. Meaty. Meaty has been to more Duran Duran concerts than I have, and I've been to one. And I've been to one. Yes, Meaty is Roger's mom. I've been to one. Actually, I went for Duran Duran. Ended up seeing Stevie Ray Vaughan and forgot that Duran Duran was even playing that night. But so your mom was. I don't want to say drug along to all these Duran Duran concerts, because I'm sure she went willingly, because
she did go willingly. She appreciated the music, but I know it was to protect my sister and her friends, because my mom was like the chaperone. But my mom was the only one that could handle that, because she had to listen to that anyway, and she knew all the lyrics to all the songs. Matter of fact, she knew all the lyrics to like Skid Row, Trickster, Aerosmith. Because those, as my sister got into high school, that was her favorite bands, and that was on constantly. At that time, they moved away, so I didn't get to grow up with my sister at that point. But her room, she had a drum set in there, a keyboard, and she muraled her walls with Aerosmith, Anthrax, Skid Row, Trickster, Cinderella.
She loved Cinderella.
So all that, and so she listened to that all the time. And then she self-taught herself on the drums. She bought a nice Pearl drum set. I mean, a nice set, and then a big keyboard, and she would play all that.
Now, is she older than you?
No, she's 3 years younger
than you. Okay.
But she loved Duran Duran, absolutely. And her friend Grace loved Prince. They both liked Prince too.
Yes.
So
Prince.
So those were their two bands.
Okay, Prince and Duran Duran.
But going back to the stereos and stuff, I mean, that I grew appreciation music because I listened to it all the time, But I've told you this before. My history with music is I didn't really listen to the lyrics. And if you ask me what the lyrics of a certain song is, I still don't know. I really have to read it over and over again. I, at a young age, listened to the instruments. And then I would listen to a song over and over again because I would extract what the guitar sounded like, what the bass sounded like, and then the drums would sound like, or even the damn tambourine. That's what I wanted to hear because I loved the beat. The instruments making the song work.
See, that's how I do it in there. I listen.
And I say that because then, as I was in grade school for my birthday, I got one of these Sanyo little radios, but just the one speaker and the cassette on one side.
Oh yeah.
And every night I waited for SATURDAY night. That would come on. That was my favorite song when I was in grade school.
Oh man, some Bay City Rollers.
But then with that cassette, that player, I never had a boombox. I wasn't that cool. But I would wait, and who didn't do this back then? You would hit record with your tape cassette to get these songs.
Absolutely.
When they were playing. The best was a Sunday America Top 40 because you knew they would play those songs eventually. And then you try to make these cool mixtapes, but you hear you just missed it, or it gets the commercial. So yeah, I grew up there, but again, when I started noticing my dad started playing more of that old 60 rock, then I go, well, I don't have to listen to country. I can listen to other things, and my dad does that, and so I expanded my music horizon, and then we had a great station that was a rock station, KRNA 93.1, KRNA rock,
93.1 KNRA,
yeah, KRNA radio, and that was rock and roll, and that they played everything on here, and even at the time what they would consider harder stuff. Judas Priest, that kind of thing, Black Sabbath, and
so my question I have always for everybody that sits at the table with me is, who was your first musical introduction that made you love music to the point where you are today? I mean, you've got as much music knowledge as anybody I know. There's always that one incident where you hear a song or something happens.
It'll come into my top 3 albums. Okay.
Well, speaking of top 3 albums, Miss Mary, why don't you go ahead and hit the number 7 button there? We're going to talk about top 3 albums right now. Yeah. Now, top 3 albums, obviously, my top 3 albums in no specific order are the 1989 Beastie Boys' Paul's Boutique, 1978 Van Halen, 1984's Purple Rain by Mr. Prince Rogers Nelson, and The Revolution. Those are my 3. Almost changed out Van Halen. This one down here is sitting number 4. And it's slowly working its way towards being in the top 3. This is one of my all-time favorite new bands and new albums. Yeah. I love that. Disobey. So we had discussed this before the podcast even started.
Right. And
this is how the podcast actually got going, because I was at your table and I was like, I should do a podcast where we just sit around and talk about music. Yeah. Like, what are your top 3 albums? And you were like, oh, okay.
So I'm blaming you for this?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was like, and then you named 2 and you're like, man, that third one is really, but obviously I already know them, but I want you to start your number 1.
You'll know. Well, this is weird. It's nothing like yours or some of your past guests, because there's so many. This was the hardest, when you asked that question, I couldn't name them because other albums just keep popping up, but I went back to what was the most influential moments for me in music history, or what I listened to. And this is weird. So my number 1 is ELO, Out of the Blue.
Out of the Blue. That is Out of the Blue right there, right? Yeah.
Great album.
It was a double album, and I had the record, and it looked like a spaceship.
Oh, yeah.
All those songs, I knew every words. When we would have show and tell at music in grade school, I would take that album and make my music teacher play Turn to Stone. Or Mr. Blue Sky. I mean, there's so many good songs on there.
There are a lot of great songs on there.
That was grade school and junior high, and I listened to that. I had an RCA record player, one of those kit ones. Yeah. The speakers would clip on the top.
Oh, yeah.
And then you could unclip the speakers, and the record player would be in there.
Yep.
That's what I had in my bedroom, and I listened to that album over and over and over again.
That's all
I know. And it wasn't one of those automatic when it was done and they would go back.
You had to pick it up.
But so that was my number 1 because it was the most influential. It got me singing, and I started going out for concert choir and stuff like that. And obviously, every elementary kid has to sing, but when you get into junior high, it was an option. And then I just continued that all the way through high school. And I just loved the sound. To me, it was so space age, but because the album had a UFO looking thing on it. But I loved the sound and how they produced those songs, and the sound was just incredible. It was
very
so different.
Orchestral. A lot of orchestral sounds.
I liked and I was never in band, but I love the violin stuff in there and the horns and everything in there with the rock.
Yeah.
When they mixed that sound, I mean, they were kind of groundbreaking.
Oh, they were very progressive.
With that.
Yeah.
With that. And so, yeah, that's my number one. The number two, I'll put them in order because of my timeline when I was introduced to them. My number two would be Def Leppard, Hysteria.
Okay.
The reason for that is, and I think I told you this, I played football in college, so when we would go somewhere, fly or on a bus to go to away games, I would always hit, and back then you had Walkmans, but it was a tape. We didn't have CDs then.
No.
I'd play the very first song, and that was my, what do you want to call it?
Pump up
well, it wasn't necessarily my pump up song. It was my Rabbit's Foot. I had to do it.
Oh, you're
it was a ritual. Superstition.
Yeah.
But I just loved how that. I think the first song was Rocket, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And so I just loved the beat, and as the plane or the bus would leave, I would push play as soon as that driver, like we would go.
Yeah.
And just that, the drum, and then the wheels turning, and that, to me, that just got me, all right, this is game weekend. Get ready.
Okay.
And then that whole album I knew.
It's a great album, Hysteria, by the way. Great album.
It's because of that, because I have great memories of that, of hitting play because of that.
There it is right there for you. Original vinyl even.
Right. And that's why. I mean, there's so many albums. And then my third, we talked about it.
First song is Women.
Oh, Women.
Yeah.
Well, it was cassette, maybe side two.
Yeah, side two.
It was cassette. Maybe the order was, I don't know.
Anyway.
But.
No, it was rock.
Okay.
Anyway.
So and then my third, there's so many others, but it impacted me again. We talked about it, the best concert I ever saw. As far as quality, and it was Queensryche. And it was Empire.
Okay.
And the reason for that, my cousin, who since passed away, he loved that album. He was way older than I was, but when that album came out, he listened to it over and over again, and I was a roommate with him. And we listened to it over and over again. He actually did a paper. He was taking classes. He was an engineer, but he was taking classes at the community college. I don't know why, but he had to do a paper on something influential or something, and he wrote a paper on the album Empire. And if you listen to the lyrics, they're telling a story in that whole album too about corruption, government.
Oh, absolutely.
That kind of stuff. So he did a paper on that. I mean, that's how in depth he was on that. And I appreciated, a couple years later, my older cousin was listening to this, and we listened to it all the time, and when we were in the car and stuff like that. And then I have this vision of the concert that I experienced, and so that's why I have those. But again, those are my top three because of the influential impacts it had on my life, those songs. But there's so many other great albums. I mean, I remember I would only listen to Stone Temple Pilots when I went snow skiing.
Yeah. Just
Stone Temple Pilots or Alice in Chains.
Ritual.
Those were the things going down the hill. That type of music was the best.
Well, yeah, it was X Games. It was extreme.
And I love that sound.
Oh yeah, no. Oh, Stone Temple Pilots.
And then going down the hill.
Alice in Chains. Absolutely two of my favorite bands from that era.
For some reason, snow skiing, that was it. And then in the power sport world, then I got into Rob Zombie.
Yeah, the heavier stuff.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. And so it's all over the board. But if you ever saw my iTunes, I know Dr. Rock knows it's all over the board. It's ABBA all the way to
Oh, yeah. No, you
Zombie.
had it playing the other day when we were...
It's all over. We were kayaking, and you're listening to, I don't know.
Oh, there was everything.
There was everything from country to hard rock, and then you'd listen to, I don't know, some slow song, and then you get a...
Going down the river kayaking.
So top three albums for you are ELO, Out of the Blue, absolutely tremendous album. 100% agree with that being somebody's top three. Obviously Hysteria. I mean, I still have the original vinyl. I love that album. And Empire, obviously is what probably got me listening to Queensryche. I didn't really know them before that. I kind of heard a couple of songs off of Operation Mindcrime,
Right.
but I wasn't into the prog. I wasn't into the prog metal.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that was a concept album. Both
Yeah,
of them were.
yeah.
You could tell from start to finish those
Yeah.
albums, they were telling an entire story through
Right.
the whole thing.
Right.
That's not what I was into then. Now, I appreciate Queensryche even more because of the intricacies that they put into their music and into the production of their sound.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the show
I
we
think that's
saw
what it
wasn't
is,
even
too.
with Jeff Tate, but it was
Right.
still a great show. And the light show matched the exact part of the song where it was supposed to be. And,
Right.
you know, and this is at, you know, the Dubuque County Fair. This
Right.
isn't, you know,
Yeah.
I mean,
I got to see him in the arena. I saw him at Moondance Jam. Moondance Jam and in Iowa wasn't with Jeff Tate, but
yeah.
at the arena it was Jeff Tate, and it was incredible. I actually got introduced to Queensryche with Empire, but then I appreciate after that concert, Operation Mindcrime. Then I went out and bought that CD right away,
Yeah.
and then I listened to it, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean that was it, and that was the reason though. But yeah.
Yeah, my kids are doing the Monaga Metal show this weekend, and so they have an extra ticket that, and so we're actually going to go Saturday to see Power Man 5000 and Crossfade.
Yeah.
I probably won't stick around for Seven Dust, but
Right.
never seen either one of them, and I know half a dozen songs by Power Man, so I'm really excited because, you know, it's Rob Zombie's nephew.
Yeah, yeah.
So he has that same.
Well, you know, I'd like to be there, but I got more.
You got family coming up,
Yeah.
friends. That's
Yeah.
no. And there's plenty of concerts to go to
Right.
over the next several years here.
Sure.
You can switch between 4, 5, and 6 now. We're done talking about top 3 albums.
Okay.
So I guess the only other. No, I mean, really, shit. We pretty much covered everything. There was one other topic though that came up, and you said you were going to talk more about it when we were outside. Yeah.
I don't remember I remember him saying that, but I don't remember
Yeah.
what you were talking about.
You said, I'll save that story for downstairs. Maybe it was just about the music.
It was how I got involved with music.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
that timeline of how I went from country
Okay.
to listen to the radio as during my elementary years, just loving the music, and I couldn't wait for American Top 40, Casey Kasem on Sunday.
I'm Casey Kasem.
You know, and then I would argue as a little kid. I felt like an adult because I could disagree with him on certain songs that were number one or the top 10. I was like, no way.
No, how the hell did that be number one song?
Right. And then when your favorite harder rock song would come in at 2, and then you got this slow song is number 1, that was like, nah.
So I guess my question I have, because I know your musical span is as wide as my table and is probably as expansive as mine as well.
Yeah.
Right now, when you get ready to go driving, or you're just sitting around listening to music, right now, what is your go-to music that you're listening to?
It's in between. It's on Sirius.
Okay.
One is Goo Goo Dolls. Their radio, Goo Goo Dolls radio.
Yeah. Okay.
But the other one is Alice in Chains radio.
Okay, so you're the one putting the Alice in Chains radio.
Yes. Yes.
Well, because I know for a while there you had the happy rock going.
Well, that was only for farmers market.
Okay.
And
yeah, I was on that channel for a little while. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
So you're going between the Alice in Chains and the Goo Goo Dolls. That's a
radio. Yeah.
Wow, that's a big.
It depends on what my company and what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, like me, the reason I asked is because for some odd reason I've been bouncing between 3 stations on Sirius XM over the last week.
Yeah.
Nitro, just because of the heavy metal stuff.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to Backyard Barbecue hip hop old school.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to like Tone Loc and EPMD and all this shit from the 80s.
Yeah.
But then I find myself putting it on like the best of the 80s top 100, and I'm listening to Madonna, and I'm like, I can't find a genre right now that it's like I'm into the hip hop thing, because I've always been into hip hop, especially pre 1990s hip hop, but everything is on such repeat on Sirius XM. It's you can almost tell what day of the week it is by what song is playing at 4:00.
Yeah.
So I have to get off of that channel, because it's like, I can only hear that song so many times. I haven't heard it in 30 years. Now I've heard it 3 times in a week. But I guess I don't listen to a lot of the radio ones. I know I probably should, because I like specific artists.
Well, the reason I do that, and you two know that, I don't know why, but I enjoy singing.
No.
I do, and I listen to like the Goo Goo Dolls and Billy Joel, maybe radio, because I'm trying to find new songs.
Yeah,
you
don't want to be lumped in as that guy that sings songs.
These 4 songs all the time.
We know somebody who can only sing those 4 songs.
Right.
It's
I got to expand my library, and so I'm finding on all those platforms. I have more time in the summertime to do that and listen to different songs and break them down and go from there. Because I definitely can't scream like I did when I was 21.
Well,
there was one you were singing towards the end of our kayaking trip, and I told Mick, I said, he needs
I
to,
don't
but
remember.
I can't remember what it was.
Anyway, so that's why I'm all over the board with that. If you see goofy radio, but the reason for the radio is when you find like artists, I'm trying to find what they think is a artist, and then I might, all of a sudden I'll hear someone like, oh, I haven't thought of that, or I've never heard of that before.
Maybe I'll do that. Start listening to like Blackstone Cherry Radio or something, then it'll maybe introduce me to some other part. Okay.
I mean, that's
not a bad idea.
Yeah. That's the only reason, is to find like artists. What do they consider like artists?
Yeah.
Is it the sound? It's got to be, or is it it's more the sound than the lyrics.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be,
so,
they're going to be in the same genre of music. So, like to me, Blackstone Cherry, for example, to me, they sound more like Southern rock.
Right.
So are they going to pair me with more new artists that sound like Southern rock, or are they going to start throwing in Leonard Skinner's and Allman Brothers? Well, I already know all that stuff. I'm hoping that if I put something on, like, say Great White Radio, it's going to be like, oh, here's band, because, Great White was actually they were good. They were a very great bluesy band.
Yeah, they were.
We were just listening on the way home from the store today, where Rock Me came on by Great White. I'm like, oh man, that song rocked. It was so good.
Yeah.
So, all right. I have a few seconds left before we have to go.
Mm-hmm.
What else is on your mind about music?
One thing we didn't touch on too, when my aunt and uncle lived on a farm, and so I spent a lot of my weekends out there. I mean, just about every weekend helping them and just hanging out at their farm. But again, my cousin I was talking about, when he was in high school, he had one of those console radios upstairs in their bedroom, but he listened to Judas Priest, Dokken, those type of bands. Triumph. Do you remember hearing that band? Triumph.
Like 7.
But then he had Pat Benatar, Aldo Nova.
Is this Marty?
No, this was Gary. It was Jeff's brother, who passed away.
All right.
That music, that's what got me into that more like heavy metal-ish style. But I grew up on the weekends and listening to that stuff.
Wow.
And
the devil's music.
Yeah, it was so funny because my aunt, his mother was very religious, but we were playing that stuff upstairs all the time. But she never said, "Turn it down, it's devil's music." Yeah. No, she wasn't like that. But our I don't know. It's weird. Music. I mean, my sister's very talented. My mom, I know she sang when she was in Japan.
Okay.
And she appreciates music, all genres as well. And my dad definitely did. So, in his older years, he ended up before he passed away, the cassettes in his Forerunner was Tracy Chapman and Simon and Garfunkel.
Oh.
That's what he would listen to.
Wow.
Oh, and then Guns N' Roses.
No,
He loved Sweet Child of Mine.
did he really?
Oh,
Nice.
absolutely. So, I mean, music was always in my world, and so.
Always in my world too.
But music, what it does for you, it does for me. It takes you to a different area. Or if you're having a bad day, you just turn it up, or you put on a song that you like, or you relate to those lyrics. I mean, volume is good at sometimes. Sometimes the lyrics is good. So
you had mentioned that earlier, and I do that in the Zen Den, where a song will come on, and I'll fixate on the bass drum.
yeah,
I just fixate on it. I want to hear him go boom, boom, boom,
yeah,
boom, and then later in the song, I'll be like, all right, let me listen for the bass guitar, and all of a sudden you hear doom, 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 doom. I'm like, all right, and then you go to the guitar. So I do the same thing with music. I literally will listen to every different part of the instruments individually
yeah,
as much as I can, and then towards the end of the song I'll bring it all together, and then I'll start listening to him.
right,
But I completely bypass the lyrics when I'm listening in there. It's all about, I want to hear every tone, especially now that I have the 8-track player and I've got all this 40s and 50s big band stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to that, and all of a sudden I hear a horn, a trombone just wow over on this, and you're like, wow, but how that person came up with, all right, at this exact time I need a trombone slide here. Why?
right.
But it sounds perfect. How those people can write that stuff, to me, is always amazed me. I have zero musical dexterity when it comes to, I don't know how to read music.
Yeah.
I don't even know, honestly, what the notes are.
Yeah.
But when I hear it played, I know what it is, and that's great. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, I loved when you had mentioned that, because that's literally how I listen to music. Now, there's days when I'm driving down the road and I'm just wanting to scream out lyrics to a song.
Absolutely.
But that's more of the, I need to get rid of this aggression because I'm going home from work, so I'll sing at the top of my lungs.
Sure.
But when I get here, now it's chill time. Now I just want to I want the music to soothe and wave over me and have it massage all of my body and just get rid of all that tension. That's what that room is for me. It's literally it's the tension release room. Wait, that didn't sound right.
Well, yeah. What else?
Never mind.
Anyway,
how you?
I go to bed every night with headphones on.
See, and I did that the other night. I had to.
I do. I wake up. Sometimes they're still in my head, or they're laying in the middle of the bed, or the battery died.
And so, what do you listen to when you go to bed?
That's shuffling those two stations.
So you go on, okay.
Or some of the songs I recorded of myself. Just because to make it, I want to make it better.
Yeah. No.
The recordings. If this one stinks, I want to erase it. And
see, the other night I had to put my headphones in because the sound of the TV was just not right.
Yeah.
And she had just started to fall asleep, so I knew that she was going to eventually. I was like, all right, I'm just going to turn the TV down. I put headphones in, and I just put on Sirius XM. Laid down, I think within 20 minutes I was asleep. So,
and there's some nights I put on Hans Zimmer.
Oh, yeah. All the soundtracks.
The soundtrack, but instrumental orchestra stuff. That's relaxing too. But they're noise canceling headphones, so I don't hear outside noise. Or we've had these storms the past couple of days. I haven't heard them at night because I have them on.
That's what we need to get you.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the storm last night.
No, but you hear everything. So.
But yeah,
brother.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. This was a great. This was a great episode down here. This one went very, very well. Been waiting a long time to get you down here.
I know.
So anyway, everybody.
Yeah.
That's a wrap. Once again, rest in peace, Mr. Ozzy Osbourne. I believe it's John Michael Osbourne. If I'm wrong, correct me on that. Anyway, peace, love, and music. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.